What up, what up, what up? It's Ray V. Let's get it.
Call me a lover boy, simp, Libra. It's more than love sick. I got a fever. Feelings overloading. Not to be a diva. Standing 10 toes down. I'm not gonna leave you.
Sad boy quote of the day. They say in silence you find what's true. I found that I'll never stop loving you. You don't have to accept it or embrace it, but you must know it and I must face it. Y'all know what time it is. It's time to decipher that thing. Felt poetic after yesterday's SQOTD, so let's do another poetic bar. Split that thing up. They say in silence you find what's true. These are the times. These are the times, man. The suffering in silence. You are alone with your thoughts, and all the realness comes out. Just pure in your own head and your own feels. Listen to your heart, your brain, mind, all of it. This is where the truth lies. Next line. I found that I'll never stop loving you. Shoot, facts, straight facts. That's all I know. It's the only constant I have during these times, these moments of silence. I don't make the rules, man. You know, it's what the heart wants. Hearts don't negotiate. That's another ball for another day, though. Next, you don't have to accept it or embrace it. You know, she don't gotta do anything. It's not about her. Well, it is about her, but it's not. You know, it's about me. You know what I'm trying to say. Whatever, man. Next line, you know, but you must know it, and I must face it. I really like the way that sounds. You know, it sounds mad poetic when I said those last two bars in a row like that. Not gonna lie, but you know, but the only thing the only thing she got to know is it. You know, she must know it. That's it. That's all. It doesn't really matter after that. You know, that's all she needs. That's all she's needed for. But me, you know, me. I must face it. That's a me thing for me to do, to work on, to work through. It is what it is, man. Hearts don't negotiate. Alright, the F ain't for feels. It's for fantasies. So let's get into our deepest fantasies, baby. Comment section. PJ Redacted asks, do you think the strength of this portion is worth trading up to? This is on the 201 to 206 rookie picks video. I'm set to have a late first and late second. Maybe I can trade up to this portion. This is very, very similar to that MVMT guy's question the other day. I guess this PJ Redacted guy doesn't read the comments, or he skips that part of the vid, you know, with the timestamps below. You know, that's crazy, but understandable. I can't stand that MVMT guy either. You know, he's just always commenting on everything. I got my phone number somehow. He always just be texting me, man. This guy. But I did reply. I said, what did I say? I actually do like the bet on this portion of the draft. I think it will fall off soon after this. After that portion, 201 to 206. Spoiler alert. With those later picks, though, it might be better to trade. Just trade the mystery box away for a proven asset. If possible, take advantage of the rookie fever. As for trading back, I would look into just swapping pick years if you can get away with it, more than trading back. Say, you know, you got a late pick, so 208, 209, whatever it is. This year, you know, I would just re-roll that into a second next year, 2027 second, if you could. Just straight up, just say 208 for your 2027 second. You get a pick now. I gotta wait a whole year, man. I gotta wait a whole year. It's totally worth it for you. Schmooze them up like that. You know, usually it works for me. Usually, yeah, I think that re-roll into the next year, a stronger class. You know, it's all good. You know, get an extra spot on your taxi squad for those undrafted guys, or you know, maybe you get a two forts or something when you trade back or something. You know. That's how it's nickel and diamond, baby. That's how you get it. That's how you get the value. Alright, today we're finna continue with our SuperFlex Dynasty Rookie Draft picks. The next 6, 207 to 212. Reminder that the NFL draft is next Thursday. So we got to bring as many rookie prospects as we can before the draft. We got to talk about as many as we can. It was brought to my attention that I should probably show past drafts to try and show y'all like how this stuff looks like in hindsight and the hit rates and stuff. So right now I'm going to go through the rookie ADP from last year, right before the season started, just to show you guys a little bit. I'll reiterate the 6 spots we're talking about as well for the future videos for the next couple picks, or next sections of picks. So last year, 101 to 106, we had Genty, Hampton, Henderson, McMillan, Hunter, Harvey. already right there. We know how we feel about Travis Hunter. He could hit, could not hit, but he's looking at least bust range, if not already a bust. So that's already one down in the first round. 107 to 112, we had Egbuka, Caleb Johnson, Golden, Warren, Judkins, and Loveland. Caleb Johnson, man, tough. Tough if you took him. Golden, he looks like he has an opportunity now, but he definitely didn't produce anything last year. Judkins, he had his whole situation going down, but he got cleared right before the season started, so that's why he fell to the end of the first. Loveland, he was a late bloomer, came out second half of the season. So I'd knock Johnson down, Golden, and Caleb Johnson. So that's like what, three down. 9 of 12 kind of look like they're hidden. Maybe 8 of 12 if we take out Judkins, and 7 of 12 if we take into account Loveland was a late bloomer. 201 to 206, we got Higgins, Scatabo, Ward, Burden, Tuden, and Jaden Blue. So, Higgins was also very slow to start the year. Looks a little better now. Scatabo, he got hurt. And he was not projected to be the guy he was, but, he did, and then he got hurt. So we'll see what happens this year. Ward, he kind of sucked for most of the year. Still quarterback. Sorry, I should say that this is just a regular 1 QB ADP. I was trying to do a SuperFlex one, could not find it online. So this is how we're doing it. Quarterbacks will just get bumped up, but you get the gist of it. So Cam Ward right there, Luther Burden, later half of the year. Bayshaw Tuden, took the whole year off essentially, but now he's primed for a spot now. Jaden Blue, yikes. So, where out of the 201 to 206, I'd say, 3 of 6? Higgins, Tuden, I guess you wouldn't even count Tuden. Yeah, all these guys didn't do anything all year long, and we got Higgins, I'd say, looking good this year. Burden looking good this year. Tuden looking good this year. Maybe Ward. Maybe. So that's 3 or 4 out of 6. 207 to 212. We got Trey Harris, JCM, Dylan Sampson, Kyle Williams, Mason Taylor, Ollie Gordon. So none of these guys did anything last year. Bill had all the hype, did not do anything really. So you could really say that's a 0 for 6 right there. If we're being for real, Trey Harris might have a role without Keenan Allen there anymore on the Chargers. Sampson might have a pass catching role. Kyle Williams, good route runner and everything, but he didn't do anything on the field. Bill, JCM might get replaced, if they take Jeremiah Love or something, but he just looked like a plodder last year after his 1 or 2 hype games, and even then he wasn't really that efficient. So that might be an 0 for 6. 207 to 212, 0 for 6. That's what we're doing today, 207 to 212. So sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't, just really depends. 301 to 306 though, we got Dart, Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, Woody Marks, Jack Besh, Io Manor, and Noel. And Io Manor, that was the last one. So Dart, this is a 1 QB league, so he was looking like the 3rd QB on the depth chart, so, it makes sense why he went there. Pat Bryant didn't really excel in anything. Tesla, catches touchdowns, but that's really it. He's not on the field that much. Woody Marks did pretty well, but, what's his name? Joe Mixon didn't get to play the whole year, and so that was always in the mix. Nick Chubb got hurt a lot, so Marks was able to excel. Jack Besh does not look good at all. Io Manor, good in the slot, but we believe in Gunnar Helm over there, trying to take that slot work. But Io Manor was all right, but I'd say 1 of 6 here, 2 of 6 maybe. Marks and Dart for the 301 to 306, 307 to 312. We had Jalen Knoll, Deontay Thornton, Elijah Arroyo, Torrey Horton, Giddens, Fannin. So Knoll, not really looking too good. Thornton, had the opportunity, didn't really do anything with it. Arroyo got kicked off the field for, forget his name, sorry. AJ Barner. Torrey Horton was looking good for the first half of the year. Then he got hurt. Giddens, just a backup to Jonathan Taylor and Fannin. So definitely giving Fannin 1, so 1, maybe Torrey Horton. So we'll give a 1.5, 1.5 out of 6 on that one. 307 to 312, 401 to 406. We got Taj Brooks, Jalen Royals, Jalen Milroe, Jarquez Hunter, Rashard Smith, and Monungai. Trash, all of them trash besides Monungai. 401 to 406. That's 1 for 6. 407 to 412, Terrence Ferguson, Shuck, Shador, Neal, Jalen Lane, and Trevor Etienne. So Terrence Ferguson still has hope this year. Not really, because I think they just extended Higgins, if I believe that. Or Higbee, sorry. Tyler Higbee on the Rams. Shuck hit. Shador might hit. He did get a play last year, but I'm not going to give that a W. I'll give Shuck a W. So 1 of 6 right there for the 407 to 412. And we had a bunch of undrafted that KLS had all that hype coming into the season. Keandre Lambert-Smith for the Chargers. Aronde Gadskin looking good now in that role, maybe. Efton Chisholm, he's had a little value there. Any of the Pats wide receivers got something there. Jordan James handcuffed to McCaffrey. Dylan Gabriel, he did start a couple games out there last year. Gunnar Helm, how we feel about Helm. He's looking good this year. Looking trending up. DK, Chimere DK, also was pretty good last year. Decent enough, at least. Enough that he should have been drafted over some of these guys. Will Howard, could be a starting quarterback this year. I think he started like a game or two last year too. Riley Leonard, he's going to start this year if they don't go to A-Rich. If they don't trade A-Rich, they probably won't even play A-Rich for the Colts. They hate him over there, probably. And LaQuint Allen might have a role this year, but he was definitely in the backfield a little bit for the Jags last year. So, that's just how drafts go sometimes. Not everyone can get them right. And the hit percentages are pretty bad. And you can see, all that value, at least, point value. Some guys were useful last season, and some guys have some value going into this season. They're all undrafted right there. So those are the type of hits, you got to try to remember that, the mystery box of a pick could be a boat. It could also be Taj Brooks, backup of Chase Brown. I didn't even think he was the backup role. I think he was the second guy. Jarquez Hunter, oh man, I don't even think that guy was really on the field. He was behind Blake Corum, even, Brashard Smith, who, the Chiefs running backs, they'd rather have Kareem Hunt out there. So that just is what it is sometimes. But, I'll reiterate, today we're doing 207 to 212. So Trey Harris, JCM, Dylan Sampson, Kyle Williams, Mason Taylor, Ollie Gordon, 0 for 6. 0 for 6. Like I was saying earlier, maybe you should try to trade out of here, or try to really do your research on picks. Even with all that research, you still might not get it right, but hey, if you couldn't trade out, it's all good. 207, Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback, LSU, 194 for 288 passing, 67.4% completion percentage, 1,927 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Allegedly, Nussmeier suffered a persistent undisclosed abdominal/torso injury during the second day of fall camp and played through it all season until he couldn't anymore. He only started the first 9 games before landing on the sideline. Nussmeier is a pocket passer with aggressive downfield mentality. He is a high-volume, rhythm, and vertical hybrid quarterback. Not a true dual threat, but definitely not immobile either. Nussmeier can make all the throws at all levels, especially the deep sideline shots and tight windows, intermediate throws, and he's very confident in pushing the ball down the field. He has an NFL caliber arm strength, fits aggressive passing systems. He's willing to attack defenses, and he's not afraid to take risks. His aggressiveness and mentality translates to more big plays and yardage upside. Nussmeier has a good pocket feel and can maneuver within the pocket while keeping his eyes downfield. He profiles as a high attempt QB when he starts, and that passing volume upside is gold in fantasy. The downside in aggressiveness is that he can sometimes be overly aggressive, leading to being turnover prone, having turnover prone tendencies. His decision making may lead him to having a shorter leash at QB if he doesn't have more wow plays outweighing the turnovers or bad decision making. He was a streaky performer in college, looking elite on one drive and reckless the next on a fair amount of times. Just because he can run doesn't mean he will run, limiting his rushing upside as well. Lastly, his mechanics under pressure get sloppy and it leads to inaccurate throws. Nussmeier's ceiling would be mid QB1 if he can win a long-term starting job, cut down his turnovers, and play in a pass-heavy offense. His floor would be QB, backup QB, or a short-lived starter, maybe a one-year bridge, if that. I would take Nussmeier here if you need another QB on your roster. He gets round one draft capital, or if you're willing to embrace the volatility. I would pivot here if you're already strong, have a strong QB depth, or if he falls to day 3 in the NFL draft, or if you prefer safer skill position assets. Nussmeier is a high variance pocket passer with real arm talent, but his major decision making risk is going to define his career. At 208, I got Eli Stowers, tight end, Vanderbilt. 62 receptions, 769 yards, 4 touchdowns. Stowers is a move tight end hybrid weapon, a former QB converted into a pass catcher. He could be like another quarterback on the field. Love when they say that on commentary. He is athletic, space-oriented, mismatched chess piece. He moves more like a wide receiver than a tight end. He's fluid in space and easily separates against linebackers. His athleticism and movement skills translates to mismatch potential against most of the linebackers he will go against in the NFL. As a former QB, he understands coverages, soft spots and zones, and has good spatial awareness. He should know exactly where the QB wants him to be. Just like having another second QB on the field, like Cooper Kupp or Tyler Warren, as they always say during the games. He can line up in the slot, H-back, and occasionally out wide. His versatility keeps him on the field in passing situations. He also has a dangerous yak ability. He has a limited blocking ability, though, and won't be used in traditional tight end roles consistently. Not being a true inline tight end means his snap share will depend on the offensive scheme. Because he has a tweener profile, he's not a wide receiver and he's not a full tight end. His position ambiguity means that he will be very hit or miss historically, as it shows with tweener profile tight ends. He's still developing as a pass catcher and is not a refined route technician yet, but being he barely switched over to full-time tight end in the 2024 season. He will also need design usage to see targets, at least to begin his career while he works on developing it. Stowers can be a mid to high tight end 1 if he gets consistent slot usage and becomes a featured mismatch weapon. His floor would be a gadget player with low snap share and minimal fantasy relevance. I would target him here if you want upside at a scarce position, or you could be patient and wait for that ever elusive year 2 to 3 breakout for tight ends. I would pivot here if you need immediate production or prefer clearer role projections. Stowers is a high upside hybrid tight end whose fantasy value depends heavily on scheme, development, and usage. At 209, we got Chris Brazzell II, wide receiver out of Tennessee. He had 62 receptions, 1,017 yards, and 9 touchdowns last season. Brazzell is a vertical field-stretching wide receiver. He is a lean and long speed athlete and a developmental outside receiver with upside. He can threaten defenses deep and force safeties to respect over-the-top routes. His vertical speed and field stretching opens up big play potential and fits modern NFL spacing concepts. His long frame will help him in downfield tracking and contested catch situations. He doesn't need heavy volume to produce and can flip an entire week on just 1 or 2 plays. His explosive play upside translates to spike week potential. He has a limited route tree and needs refinement in breaks, timing routes, and intermediate work. His raw route running affects his chances at early playing time. He is not always reliable at the catch point and can lose focus on routine catches. His lean build means he can struggle against press coverage. He does not have a target-dominant profile, meaning his volume projection is at risk. His ceiling would be a low-end wide receiver 2 if his route running develops and he earns consistent deep and intermediate targets. His floor would be a rotational deep threat and have a low weekly usability. I would take Brazzell here if you want upside swings or already have built a stable roster core. I would pivot here if you need reliable production, your roster lacks depth, or you're risk adverse. Brazzell is a traits-based deep threat with real big play upside, but a long development path and volatile fantasy outlook. At 210, I got Malachi Fields, wide receiver out of Notre Dame, 36 receptions, 630 yards, 5 touchdowns. Fields is a big-bodied boundary wide receiver with vertical possession ability. He has a size-speed blend and is a traditional receiver with legit production. He has a big frame with long arms, wins in contested catch situations, and is a reliable target on the boundary. His size and catch radius will translate to a QB-friendly outside wide receiver with red zone value. He can stretch a field vertically and tracks the ball well on deep throws. His downfield ability adds big play upside and means he's just not a possession guy. He has handled meaningful target volume and is not just a role player. His production as a target earner translates better than projection-only players. Fields can also work through contact and holds his own against press coverage better than the smaller wide receivers. He is not an elite separator and wins more with his size than quickness. His separation consistency may cause NFL corners to limit his target share. He will also need to polish his intermediate timing routes and nuanced breaks. He is not especially dynamic after the catch and is more of a catch and fall forward type of receiver. He's also not likely to be a true wide receiver alpha, even at his size. His ceiling outcome would be low-end wide receiver 2 if he can earn consistent outside targets and get red zone usage. His floor would be a depth outside receiver with inconsistent weekly production. I would target Fields here if you want reliable wide receiver production. You're a contender needing usable depth, or prefer a clear role projections over raw upside. I would pivot here from him if you're chasing league-winning upside, if you prefer explosive archetypes, or already have multiple wide receiver 3 types. Fields is a prototypical outside receiver with solid production and a clear NFL role, but limited ceiling. Pick 211, I got Kaytron Allen, running back, Penn State. 210 carries, 1,303 yards, 15 touchdowns. He also had 18 receptions for 68 yards. Allen is a powerful downhill early down back. True north-south runner with contact balance but limited passing game projection. He runs through arm tackles, keeps feet churning after contact, and finishes runs physically. His contact balance and power translates to an NFL-ready between the tackles runner with valuable short yardage touches. He has good patience behind blocks and sees cutback lanes well. His vision in tight spaces works especially well in gap schemes and inside runs. He is built for repeated carries and can handle heavy workload stretches. His volume durability profile means coaches will trust him quicker and earlier. He is very consistent as well, not flashy, but gives a steady down-to-down production. Allen is not a natural pass catcher and will likely have a minimal to non-existent third down role. His limited receiving upside will definitely cap his ceiling and boom weeks. He is also not a home run hitter, more like a 8 to 12 yard grinder rather than a chunk play creator. He will need to develop his pass protection to stay on the field on obvious passing downs as well as third downs. He doesn't project to be a true fantasy running back 1 without consistent receptions. His ceiling outcome would be a low-end wide running back 2 if he gets goal line work and becomes the lead committee back on a run-heavy team. His floor would be a pure committee grinder with 6 to 10 touches a game type role, very replaceable. I would target Allen here if you need running back depth or you need a stable weekly floor running back. I would pivot here if you want a high ceiling running back or already have similar committee running backs. Allen is a power-based early down running back who can produce NFL value, but lacks the receiving upside to become a true fantasy difference maker. Lastly, we got pick 212, Nick Singleton, running back, Penn State. 123 carries, 549 yards, 13 touchdowns. He also had 24 receptions for 219 yards and 1 touchdown. Singleton is an explosive, big play running back. He has track speed and an open field juice. He is more of a home run hitter than a volume grinder. He should fall in draft since he broke his bone in his foot just recently in the Senior Bowl, and he was unable to do anything at the Combine. I just saw a report that he's healthy, though, so he should definitely be bumped up. He's healthy and resumed running, so he should definitely be bumped up again in drafts, and we'll see how that translates with the actual NFL draft. Hopefully your league mates stay sleepy, and you're able to swoop this guy up. Singleton is a true breakaway threat and can turn small creases into 60-yard gains quite easily. With his elite straight-line speed, he is one of the few running backs in this class who could literally score at any time. He sees cutback lanes clearly, hits second gear fast, and doesn't need 20 touches to matter in fantasy, and can even spike weak with only 10 touches, honestly. His open field vision, acceleration, and home runs ability gives him boom week potential. He's also dangerous on the outside runs, especially near the goal line. At times, Singleton can be, Singleton can be impatient and doesn't always maximize inside lanes. He has shown flashes, but is not a proven high volume receiving back. His receiving usage uncertainty will cap his ceiling and may take him off the field in third down and obvious passing down situations. He has historically been in a committee so far in his college career, so an NFL projection may be to stick to the status quo and split touches early. He does not project to be a 300-touch running back, so he doesn't project to be a pure workhorse at all. Singleton's ceiling outcome is a high-end running back one. If he could develop a full-time workload, his receiving game improves and his offensive scheme is run heavy. His floor would be a big play rotational back with only 6 to 10 touches a game. I would target Singleton here, probably even earlier, but he was injured, so I had to push him down. It's only fair. But I would target him here if you want league-winning upside at running back. Already have stable wide receivers or value spike weeks. I would pivot here if you need weekly stability from the start, want a consistent PPR running back, or dislike the committee risk. Singleton is a high-end explosive running back talent whose fantasy value hinges on workload consolidation and receiving development. Hope you guys liked my in-depth analysis on these next 6 guys, my current 207 to 212 in a SuperFlex Dynasty Rookie Draft format. The draft is next Thursday, so we need to get into it, y'all. I'm hyped, and I'm trying to get y'all hyped too. Try to throw all the players you're trying to do on the trading block and get the attention of your league mates, because Dynasty has no off season. We love to see it. Don't forget to do that daily dose of send that trade. Send it. I think that's it for today, though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign.